Well, hi there. 5,000 subscribers already? How did that happen? I don't know. You people will watch anything these days. As there's a whole bunch of you that's just joined, hi there. I thought for this 5,000 subscriber milestone, I might tell you a little bit more about me, what I'm about, and take you on a tour of my man cave. Yes, I'm lucky enough to have a lovely wife who's very understanding and gives me this whole room in the house to mess with by myself. So let's take a look inside, shall we? So as soon as we go in, you should be able to see that I've got more than just flying as a hobby. So a big part of my life and a whole big part of the channel before it went over to FPV stuff was gaming. All sorts of gaming. Retro gaming. And we've got, what have we got there? Mega Drive, Saturn, Dreamcast, SNES, NES, GameCube, PlayStation 2, original Xbox, Xbox 360, and old stuff. So Nintendo DS, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, some 2600 games, some Master System stuff, original PlayStation, N64 stuff, more N64, more Xbox 360, onto PS3, Wii. Oh, a whole bunch of Buffy stuff. Even more of the stuff down the sides there. And I tend to try and keep as many systems out as I can. So up here we've got SNES and a NES, a Saturn, N64, PS2, 360, Dreamcast, up there a 3DO, Mega CD, Mega Drive, and underneath all that down here, that's an original Xbox, PS3, PS4, that's an Android box I use. Oh, there's a GameCube over there. So, meanwhile, on the other wall where we just came in is where most of the planes are gone. We got the Falcon and Raven wing there, the great big Buffalo, which I haven't had much success in, a couple of quads around, the Bixler. That's a mini Skywalker in a state, some more quads, a tricopter. Over under here, keep the filament from drying out too much, is my 3D printer, which is just, it's a Prusa i3 style. It's a sort of home-built thing from various components and various bits of print there. Little tiny wing up there. Some GoPro stuff. Most of the GoPro stuff ends up down here. And yeah, my desk itself. So I'm a Mac user, so all my stuff happens in Final Cut Pro X. Obviously you need a TV for doing some gaming. That's a 32-inch. It's quite old, but it's okay. And various bits and pieces try to make old consoles look better. So this is a S-video to HDMI converter, which generally looks okay. Meantime, yeah, you might notice a few instruments around. I like music. There's a couple of guitars, a couple more over there, there's a keyboard down there. You know, the list goes on. I'm a hoarder of stuff. Nothing really gets thrown away. I've got my flying stuff kind of always ready to go there. Backpack, some lipos already. Oh, I missed the little mini Talon down there. You know, there's an awful lot of artwork here done by my daughter that adorns the walls all over the place. And in here we have more bits of stuff. Got the old 450 quad, which has got, it's got an APM at the moment, which isn't really messed about with. The old wooden mini, as well as some of the micros here, the little whoops, more micros, Hornet wing up there. Over here's some more gaming systems. It's an Atari 2600. Behind there is a Vectrex. Up above it is a SNES. More on the shelf, we've got the little tiny crawler, the big quad with the gimbal, flying the NASA. Another sort of 1/10 style car. There's an AXN here. There's the DLG behind that. This is some of the wings for all the planes that I can't fit on there. Oh, down here is this is an RC hovercraft I built using a charity bag that came through the door, which worked okay-ish, but I was going to do a video on it, but a load of other channels, well at least 2, did some RC hovercraft, so that would have felt like copying if I'd just done the same. Just more of the same really, frames and gubbins and a whole bunch of general, you know, board games and what looks like a Spectrum and stuff. And if I turn around down here, we've got more boxes of various stuff, components, props, little things, and down here is my sort of current, what I'm up to at the moment, so sort of stuff that's just coming to post, and stuff I'm in the middle of half sort of building and half sorting out, all to do. Yeah, it's a great little space, and this is about as tidy as it's ever been, because I thought if I'm filming in here I better sort it out a bit. But this is where I do all my builds from, all my filming. Look, just found some more quads and stuff on the wall. Yeah, everything gets done here. This is it. This is central. So yeah, this is my space. I feel pretty lucky to have it. Pretty thankful in where I'm given my own room to sort of mess with and you know, come up with stupid things and film silly videos all day. It's pretty cool. So I hope you like the little tour. Well, that's the tour, and I hope you like it. So, meanwhile, what about me? A lot of people ask me, what's the name Curry Kit and where did it come from? So I'll tell you. When I first got onto the internet many moons ago, I can't remember exactly how long it was. It was in the 90s, I guess. One of the things I tried to do is sign up for some sort of online messaging system. It's probably now defunct, and it's kind of instant messaging. It wasn't MSN, it was before then, something else. And I tried using my name, which is Wayne, and I was outraged that someone had already taken it. I mean, how many Waynes are there in the world? So I was trying various things, and I looked at my cats who were here at the time, now deceased. One was called Korma, one was called Madras. We name our cats after curries because we like curries. Tried their 2 names, and they were both taken as well. Literally, someone's going around with a username of Madras or Korma. I eventually came up with Curry Kitten as a single word, trying all possible avenues of looking for a username, and that was available, and that's kind of stuck everywhere now. So I go with Curry Kitten. The current cat is called Poppadom, or Poppy for short. The only thing to break the rule is the dog, who's called Roshi. Roshi is a Maldivian flatbred, although you can dip it in curry, so it kind of counts. Other stuff about me. I'm 45 years old and I work as a software engineer, currently working in Node.js. Been working in runtimes for ages. Prior to that it was Ruby and Python and Java and PHP and it goes on, dull stuff. Married with a lovely understanding wife.
No, you're not getting another plane, you've already got tons.
A daughter, Sophie.
Hi, what's your channel?
Who's got her own channel, I'm instructed to tell you, called Pixie Balls. And comparatively, I've not been in RC long. Before Sophie came along, my wife one Christmas bought me this. This is a little eSky Llama coaxial copter on 35 meg. You can see the massive aerial here. And I kind of learnt to fly that. I wasn't very good. We crashed it loads of times. I replaced loads, got the screwdrivers out and got into that a lot of times. And it was discovering there were little cameras, and I wondered if I could like mount one on here and get some interesting footage somehow. But these this was, it only runs on a 2-cell, and I didn't understand about LiPos at the time, and they were all a bit bad, and I couldn't lift one. And then I started thinking, oh, maybe I need a proper helicopter. And then I thought about collective pitch helicopters, and I started looking into that. Thank goodness I didn't get one, because I just wouldn't have had the skills. And at some point I saw a video by David Winchell flying his tricopter, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. I didn't know FPV existed, and it was something that I had to try. And I didn't have a normal RC background. I was never into planes and stuff. I didn't have any equipment aside from this and this 35mm transmitter, which would maybe do 20 meters. Fortunately, he had such good build plans, I felt I could give it a go. And so my very first thing I made and tried to fly in 2012 was a tricopter. And not throwing anything away, or I very rarely repurpose parts, it's still here. I mean, it's gone through a few iterations, but this is very similar to the one I was flying 4 years ago. Still got the KK2 board on there, although it did originally start with an original KK1. These are the original GT750 motors. The GoPro 2 I had as a live out. Yeah, and I've snapped it and crashed it and replaced these arms so many times. I was buying like 4-meter wooden 10x10 things and cutting them up in bulk. I mean, this is all like hand dodgy cut piece of glass fiber. So yeah, I still love this thing, although it flies like a bit of a dog at the moment. I must have to get this back out and get it tuned up a bit better. But yeah, from that point I was hooked. I went from a tricopter to an F450 quad. Before I started getting into planes, the first one I bought was an AXN, and I bought that because Bruce Simpsons, for his RC Model Reviews channel, had a build video, and I felt I could actually put that together. Again, I'm a terrible flyer. The first flights of that was pretty bad, and it ended up in a tree for 24 hours. But you know, I persevered, and I bought more and more, and I started messing around with more and more, and I've just been in with it since. I don't know why it's stuck so much. I guess it's kind of the combination of almost like gaming, which is another thing I love, and I love the controls and I like the immersion, but with a physical, real sort of thing. And I also like tinkering with technology, and this FPV gives me the opportunity to, you know, get in there with a soldering iron, sometimes look at the programming aspect of it and the logic about it and feeling how to fix it, and then go out and physically try and do it. And you know, you get through an awful lot of crashes, but you keep going, and it's fun to do. The other thing that I've mentioned before, and it keeps me coming back to FPV, and I really love, is the community spirit of it. It's kind of like a brave new frontier where instead of people feeling they're in competition with each other and sort of hiding things away, they're like, oh my god, I've done this, here's how I did it, go and do it. And everybody goes and they do a bit more. And you can track that way back, and even right at the beginning, before I started, people were doing the same thing. They were pushing it forward as a community, and that continues to go, and I hope it does. And so, continuing on that theme, one thing I love to do is go to meets. My favourite type of flying is meeting up with my friends and being able to chase about. And this is often stuff, you know, it's just within 50 or 100 metres of ourselves. You don't need to go long distance or fly high to have fun. Just zoom around, you know, chasing a plane or a quad or whatever. It's so much fun. I just absolutely love it. But I also enjoy meeting new people, because I was given a real lot of help from the community when I started out. At the forum that is now FPV Hub, I got loads of help and posts, because I used to literally have a flight, crash, post up a video, and like, here's all the stuff wrong. Right, okay, I'll go and do it. Yeah, and I got a lot further, a lot quicker from the help from those guys. So I like to try and give back if I can. So if I meet up new people, you know, I don't want to tell them what to do, but I can at least sort of give them the benefit of I've been doing what you were doing, and this is what helped me. And this is kind of a theme in some of the videos where I'm doing tutorials about how to start quad flying. It's because I've seen new people try it, and I can see the sort of struggles they get into, and they're falling over in the same place I fell over. So here's my advice. I do a mix of different videos. I like just flying in general, so I'll try and put ones up there which I think are interesting, although it's all interesting to me, like an hour's flight, but I know people don't want to see it, so I try and squeeze that down into at least a bite-sized proportion you can stomach watching for 4 or 5 minutes perhaps. Whenever I get a piece of equipment that I know is quite new, I like to share my thoughts on it in terms of a review. And generally with my reviewing of things, it's stuff that I've bought and I've paid for, and I've got a vested interest in it. Occasionally people give me a product and say, can you review this? And I can give it my honest opinion, as much of an honest opinion as I can, although you have to bear in mind that I haven't paid for it. You know, this works sometimes good, sometimes not so good. Like the last thing I got from Gearbest, the Raptor 390 tower, seems to have broken, and they're no longer answering my emails. But you know, that's the review of the product. It broke, and they don't seem to be speaking to me about replacing it at the moment, but hey ho. I'll still buy more stuff and get on with it. The reason I like to put out tutorials is because when I'm trying to do something and I can't find many instructions about it, I feel it might be used to other people, because I'm trying to make the kind of video that I wanted it to be there, so that's why I'm trying to put those out there to help people. Also, because I forget stuff, half the time I put the video out for my own reference, so I have to go back and look at my own video if I'm trying to set something the same up again and try and figure it out from what I was saying. I guess my videos aren't particularly regular, and that's because I have almost a full-time job and plenty of family stuff to take care of, so sometimes it's down to like having an hour or two every night to try and put something together which doesn't involve flying. And of course I'm in the UK, and that means that trying to get flying days in, especially if you want to try and meet up with some friends, is so weather dependent. It can be tricky to do. But I said I almost work full time. I work compressed hours, and that gives me my Mondays off. So if I have the time, I like to try and get out on a Monday or do some filming or try and get a video together. It's strange, although these videos might look a little bit thrown together, it takes many hours of getting footage and doing filming and editing and trying to get some sort of cohesive narrative throughout it, so it all kind of matches up. Some of the things I'm doing, I'll grab a bit of footage for, and then I don't come back to it for like a year. I did this video called The Disaster Plane, where I tried to fly something a year previous before I actually managed to finally get the video out, and it's just bits of stuff that I keep together, which I guess is kind of an advantage about never throwing things away, and that includes any video footage. I've got I think about 12 terabytes of disk connected to the Mac at the moment, which contains everything I've ever filmed, and as they fill up I just add more disks to it because I don't throw anything away. In terms of what's coming up in the future, well, kind of more of the same really. I have a little list of things that when I get ideas in my head I want to do them. So there's a whole bunch more of the sort of normal tutorial things. There's, you know, I want to meet up with my friends and do some flying, and then there's the sort of silly mission things, stuff like we've done previously, like can we fly from a car and sort of chase ourselves on a plane, or can I put FPV gear on the dog. Basically, aside from FPV being a hobby, being a YouTuber is kind of been a hobby now. I really enjoy the process of putting the whole video together and you know, trying to get it to look vaguely good, and then I enjoy putting it out there and, you know, getting feedback and seeing what I can do. Of course, if you have a suggestion for a video, feel free to fire it away. Of course, some of the ideas I get, I dream up myself, some of which I see other things on YouTube and I think, well, that's interesting, I might have to have a go at that or try something in a slightly different vein. So you are free to suggest things, although I can't necessarily carry them out. Strangely though, YouTube don't recognise 5,000 subscribers as a milestone. You have to get to 100,000 to get a Pogsy play button. Fortunately, my daughter was on hand to present me with this lovely award, which is going to go onto my wall. Really is worth having a daughter for these types of things. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and my channel and what I do and why I do it. Sincerely, thanks very much for subscribing and coming on this little journey with me of strange crashing planes and quads and things like that. I really do appreciate every person that watches a video or makes a comment or leaves a like or even a dislike. It means somebody's watched it and become outraged, and that's, you know, people are showing emotion at least. I hope to offer you more of what you came and subscribed for in the first place. Let's get on with it. See you later.